Before we dive in, we're talking about how to use some really advanced strategies for using LinkedIn to get decision makers, B2B professionals, executives, CEOs to respond to you when otherwise you couldn't get a hold of them. And we're going to talk about some really cool stuff we've been doing on Facebook to get 10,000 real fans in less than 72 hours. I want to share some ideas with you I've picked up in I just spoke at the T-Rex e-commerce summit in San Diego, and then I spoke at Kevin Harrington's Mastermind Investment Club in Tampa. So one of the really cool things was we're in this phase of boxes. So a number of you get our monthly marketing box. This is Russell Brunson's, who wrote the book Expert Secrets that Adrian is now holding. So this is an upsell after you get the free copy of the book. So if you opt in and pay free plus shipping, so I'll pay my $5.95 to cover the shipping cost of the book, which magically covers the cost of the book and the shipping. So that's what's called a self-liquidating offer. It covers itself. The next page of that website says, but wait, there's more. You can buy this. This is the Funnel Hacker Black Box. Because once you have a book that teaches you all about being an expert and building a funnel to grow a tribe, you now need all this cool stuff. So what I thought was really interesting was a lot of the stuff in the box, Actionetics Secrets, Russell Brunson Secret Sketches, Quick Start Guide, Click Funnel Secret, Fill Your Funnel Secret. This is all basically to get you to consume the software. Because the next upsell from the book is the software that does it all. So these are all like instruction manuals, cool ideas of things you can do, cut and paste, and poof, this is done. So it's all designed to get a higher rate of consumption of the product or service. So one of the things we'll be working on is when people buy your book, what's next? And then does your book should not, if it's up to us, and it is, show up as just a book. There should be a whole bunch of other stuff that comes with that book that gives you a thud factor that gets them to go, oh my God, I absolutely have to do whatever she says. Does that make sense? So that was really cool. We're getting more and more into the world of what can we add on top of what you've already got to differentiate you. Because Adrian has not written the only book on divorce. There's a whole bunch, there's thousands of them. So how do we get her to stand apart, and how do we get people to say, wow, that book is great, I'd like to pay her a lot more money. Because as many copies as we sell, she's not going to get rich selling books. The book is lead generation designed to get her clients who are paying significant fees for her services. So one of the things we try and do where appropriate for almost every business owner that we work with is ultimately get them to write the book on the topic. Now, Adrian did it, we're going to call it the old-fashioned way. She physically wrote every word in this book. I've done that. It takes a long time. It was a labor of love. There was some bourbon and tears shed during the creation process of said book, but she finally got it done, and it's out and it's working. Carmine recently finished his book, which is our book interview process, where he interviewed his ideal referral sources, accountants and lawyers, being a financial planner. We transcribed, edited all those interviews, and turned it into a book. So it is a compendium of those interviews, as opposed to him writing all the words. He just did the interviews, and we turned it into a book, and it worked really well, and we got him to, I think it was number 2 or number 3 on Amazon for retirement planning. So writing a book, whether you actually write it or not, is a great way to build your authority in the marketplace, because there is a huge difference between handing someone a business card or handing them the book on pain-free living, or whatever it is that we're doing, or collision. So for example, the very first time I used this strategy was in my financial planning practice. I got 10 other financial advisors at my brokerage firm to write chapters for me. I hadn't come up with the interview idea yet and the referral idea. I got them to all write chapters, and we made one book. My book had my picture on the cover, it had my title on the cover, and I paid extra per book to make it a hardcover. And this was a long time ago. I went and got the good fortune to do a presentation for a local construction union pension fund. So every year they evaluated vendors and had to decide, do we want to keep the investment manager we've got for hundreds of millions of dollars, or do we want somebody new? So apparently they interviewed everybody on the same day, because I was last, and I noticed when I walked into the conference room where the board of trustees were, there were business cards from every major financial firm like lined up across the table. So this maybe 15 years ago, I was less mellow. You might find this hard to believe. I was less mellow then. Perhaps more cocky would be a better way. Rebecca hadn't done a good enough job humbling me yet. So I took all the business cards that were already there, I ripped them up, and I dropped my book on the table. And I said, you don't need those anymore. And I gave my presentation. And then went and sat in the waiting room and waited for them. And like 45 minutes later, they came out, they called me back in, and the president of the board, who was the one who got me in, said, we're going to give you the business, but there's something you need to know. You almost lost the deal with that stunt you pulled. He said, my vice president wanted to kick you out on the spot and wanted to physically assault you. He said, he's a cocky young son of a whatever. And I said, okay, but you were the only one who wrote a book. You wrote a book on the topic. Nobody else had done that. That's why you won. I wouldn't suggest ripping up business cards. Going back in time, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just dropped the books on the table. But that's what writing a book does, is because you wrote the book on the topic. One of the things I learned at a couple of these conferences is what if you could subsidize your marketing cost? What if you could get your customers to pay to be marketed to? They literally pay you to sell to them. Wouldn't that be really cool? So there's a whole bunch of companies now that are doing this. They're offering what we call a tripwire, something really cheap and affordable to get their customers to identify themselves. And instead of just opting in with, let's say, an email address, they're buying something with their credit card. Because someone who has given you the credit card, even for $5 or $7, is a whole lot more valuable and committed to your process than someone who just gives you a made-up email address. So one of the ways we are doing this, a number of you, he's not here today, but a number of you know Craig Turner, our political consultant. He's a local client. What he does is he helps local candidates get elected. So you want to run for dog catcher or school board or comptroller or county commissioner or whatever, Craig will help you win, or do his best to help you win. So we've been thinking, we finally were able to identify the list of people who are going to be running for office, which took us 2 years to figure out because it was really tricky, because you're asking someone to do something that they haven't decided to do yet. There's no Facebook fan page for I'm thinking about running. So we finally figured, which was our biggest hurdle, we figured that out. And then what I came up with for the self-liquidating offer to get people to identify what political party they are, this is toilet paper. In this case, this is Donald Trump toilet paper. So if you want to wipe your butt with Trump, we're gonna have a Hillary version too. But we can now market to people. For example, I would market to Hillary fans. Hey, wipe your butt with Trump. Who are running for office. We've now identified that they're running, that they have a sense of humor, which is important in politics, and that they're willing to give us a credit card for a few bucks to get this and then get upsold Craig's products and services. This, I wouldn't suggest toilet paper for everybody. Obviously, there aren't relevant, no? You've already written it down. But I thought it was a way outside the box, ridiculously, potentially offending and clever idea. So,
you don't want to use that.
Yeah, don't use that because you're got food.
I'm sitting here chomping a bit. You can use that big time.
I mean, if you really wanted to you could make, financial advisors could make like a circle with the IRS and a cross over it, toilet paper or something like that. I don't know that I would make custom toilet paper for, Adrian's not going to do it. But there are niches it could work for, because apparently when I started searching when I had the idea and started searching for it, there's a lot of vanity toilet paper. I just thought, you just go buy Wegmans Softest and that's it. Apparently not. People pay premium prices to have certain pictures on their toilet paper. And that is someone who is rabidly passionate about whatever that cause is.
I could certainly see a market among my clientele.
Yes. Very much so.
If you could put your spouse in.
That's a really good idea. Carmine just had a great idea.
Your spouse out of the
Ex-spouse.
I was divorced. That made perfect sense. I used to see shit like that in the refrigerator, and I'm like, yeah.
And there was no pun intended in that sentence. It just came out that way. All right, so let's dive into what we're talking about today. All right, so we're going to start with LinkedIn and then we'll get to Facebook. All right, so the first thing you want to do if you're trying to get the attention of, you've got to know who you want. So you've got to identify who is my target market, who is my C-suite decision maker, who is my dentist, who is my ideal client, and are they on LinkedIn? If they're not, then you'll focus on the Facebook side of today. If they are, then we're going to talk about LinkedIn. So the first thing we've got to do is figure out who we want and find their LinkedIn profiles, which LinkedIn has a very robust, both basic and advanced search engine that will help you do that. You want to start commenting on their posts, their articles. If you're comfortable with it, you could potentially endorse that, give them an endorsement. Now, LinkedIn asks us to do endorsements of people all the time. They say, endorse this person for this skill, and you click a button, and poof, now they have 150 people who've endorsed them for political consulting or whatever it is. That will not get anyone's attention because LinkedIn doesn't tell you who the 150 people are who've endorsed you. I have hundreds and hundreds of endorsements, but I don't know who they are. So what you want to do is not just click the button, you want to actually write something. Because if you write an endorsement, it's like not a sentence. If you write an endorsement of them, LinkedIn will actually tell them, Dean Smith just endorsed you, and here's what he wrote. And it will say, Dr. So-and-so is a fabulous dentist who goes the extra mile in patient care and is on the cutting edge of technology. Oops, I better get on the cutting edge and hire Dean. Whatever that is. So they have to start knowing who you are. One of the things that I've learned that's worked really well is you should change your title and your summary on your profile of LinkedIn regularly. So a lot of people on LinkedIn just use it as their resume is online, which is a big mistake from marketing purposes. You should use it for marketing. So for example, I have changed my profile with every single book I've written and added that in the description. And magically, it will tell everyone in my network. LinkedIn will send an email to everyone you're connected to every time you make a change. So how would you like LinkedIn to keep emailing people on your behalf? And it's coming from LinkedIn, so it's got a 100% deliverability rate. LinkedIn never lands in spam. So even your busy Fortune 500 C-suite gets his LinkedIn messages. So now, every time I make a change, LinkedIn sends out an email. I've also changed my employment. Every single time we do this group, every time I speak at a conference, I add another job. And I say that I'm now employed at this conference for this week, and here's what I'm talking about, and here's a link. And LinkedIn sends everyone in my connections, Seth has a new job. So magically, I get all these comments, congratulations, blah, 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 and I've had people message me about the change.
They don't question the fact you're getting a new job every 6 months.
No, because they figured out that, because my old, it just says Seth Green 2007, whatever, to the present 10 times. So no, I've never had anyone go, what happened to the other company? Which I honestly thought I would. I did think about that, but it hasn't happened. I don't know if people just haven't made that leap yet, or if they just say, he's just adding stuff. Try it. You could do this for every single product and service you've got. So Shine has tons of different stuff that you offer. You could, instead of just listing that you're on Henry Schein that's been there for years, every month you could do new thing. And then all of your people, all of your dentists will see, ooh, what's that? I got to remember to talk to Dean about that. Which works really well because I've started doing it on each service we offer with a website link to where it is, and we've gotten business from it. Of people go, even though I ran Facebook ads, even though we sent emails to our list telling them we're launching stalker tags, we had people who came from LinkedIn and said, oh, that's really cool, sign me up for that. Like, when are you doing? I didn't know you were doing that. Really? I sent you an email, I sent you a Facebook message, I ran an ad in front of your newsfeed. You still didn't notice, but LinkedIn told you and you listened. It works. You should, LinkedIn, one of the really cool features of LinkedIn is there are millions of LinkedIn groups where someone has taken the time to create a group and advertise it to get people in the group. So one of the places that we post on a regular basis is there are about 5 different financial advisor groups that have like 100,000 advisors in them each. I'm going to show you a really advanced strategy where you can get LinkedIn to send an email to every single member of a group and tell them about what you're doing. And it's coming from LinkedIn, not from you. It's really, really stalkery. to forgive the term, but before this came out, we had to physically go approach the group admin, the person who created it, and offer to pay for them to put a post in the group about us. Now you don't have to do that. You can just use this thing on LinkedIn I'm going to show you and pay LinkedIn, and LinkedIn will send it, and the group admin can't say no. You don't have to talk to them. It just magically goes where it's supposed to. So you should join LinkedIn groups. You don't have to post in them all every day, but go find your industry association if that's who you want. There's tons of user groups for dentists. Or go find the groups of your ideal clients. I don't know if there's a divorced women's group, but you could start one. And then guess what? Every time you post a message in your group, it goes to all of them for free from LinkedIn. So if there's a way for you to have your own landlord LinkedIn group, Landlords of Western New York, you can then email them through LinkedIn anytime you want for free. And you could use it to host a physical event and say, hey, let's have a landlord meetup group. I guarantee you there's no other insurance broker doing that. You could use it to fill a room of medical professionals who could send all their patients to you. All of a sudden, you're standing up here and there's 15 doctors in the room. You're going to need another freezing chamber.
Yeah, for more changing rooms.
And more changing rooms. You can create you don't have to have a physical company to create a company on LinkedIn. So again, you can create it for every project and service you're promoting. That's creating a new job. You can also create a company page on LinkedIn for each service. You could also create a company page for each keyword you want to rank for. Because if you search for the keyword that you want to be found for, you would be surprised as to how many of the first page listings are LinkedIn. If you Google your name, I'm guessing your LinkedIn profile comes up first. If you Google whatever, cryotherapy, all right, you wouldn't just do cryotherapy because that'd be national, but I'm guessing right now there's not too much on LinkedIn about cryotherapy, but there could be. And if no one else is doing it and you're the only one, you'll own it. Here's a cool thing about when you create a new job for yourself. Every year on your 12-month anniversary, LinkedIn sends everybody in your group, every connection, a message saying Seth has a work anniversary. So I have more than 12 now, so every month, everyone in my network is getting at least one email from LinkedIn about me. And then I get congratulations every time. And people talk, and some of them say, oh, I forgot about that. Tell me more. Does that make sense?
So it's job anniversary.
Yes. It means you started working there November 17, 2017. A year from now, LinkedIn will send an email going, congratulations to Bill Kanoki on his anniversary, on his work anniversary, with a link to your profile.
So with all these seminars you go out and do, and you put those as a job,
Yes,
you could easily have 40 work anniversaries a year.
that's the point. If LinkedIn is emailing my connections like every other week,
Yeah.
we can track a significant volume of business from it. You don't necessarily have to do it 40 times, but I would at least do it 12, so once a month your network is getting notified about something you're doing.
I'm just taking it to the level it looks like you're doing it.
Right, yes. I'm going to keep doing it until people unfriend me. When they stop connecting when they unconnect, when they drop off and unfollow me on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is sending them too many emails, that's when I'll start stopping and tailoring off.
Okay.
But I'm going to keep pushing until that happens. I'm not going to rip up the business cards, but I might knock them off the table.
Exactly, yes.
All right, so these are some specific email campaigns and message campaigns in LinkedIn that are working really well. So this is if you need to get referred down the food chain. So let's say I'm going after the CEO, but who I really want is the chief technology officer, like Chris might want. And here's the issue, here's what happens. If I go to the CTO directly, a lot of times I get stalled out or it takes a while. My sales cycle is forever. But if I go to the CEO and the CEO says, hey, John, go talk to this guy, Chris, boom, your sales halfway closed right there because you got referred down the food chain. So one of the messages that we send that works really well is, I'm trying to figure out who's in charge of blank, whatever it is you want, there at your company. would you mind putting me towards the right person and the best, or tell me the best way I might get in touch with them? So now, the CEO may just message you back and go, oh, that's Bob. Here's his email. And then you say, hey, Bob, John told me to talk to you, which he did. He said, go talk to Bob about this. I'm too busy. This isn't my department. I run the company. But now all of a sudden, if Bob goes back to John and say, hey, did you tell this guy to talk to me? He says, yes, I did. You're well through the door. You'd be surprised how many big company decision makers will respond to stuff because they feel like they're helping. They don't want to send you to the wrong place and they don't want you to bother them, so they send you where you're supposed to go. It's funny, we accidentally did this too well. We have another financial advisor who is writing a book on airline employee retirement. So his niche is pilots, airline execs who are retiring. He does retirement planning. That's his niche, is the airlines. He was a pilot. Now he's an advisor. This is his niche. And normally it takes 8 to 10 interviews to make a book. We have software that automates this process. It will search, it will find the right people, it will send them the messages, and it will follow up with them. We had the problem of he now has too many interviews. Like I was messaging Tayton every day going, here's a screenshot, we had another person, another person, another person, another person. At 20, she's like, he doesn't stop. So it can work really well. One of the issues that we discovered, because I stopped the software from running for him like 2 weeks ago, but we're still getting people, is that people aren't on LinkedIn every day like they're on Facebook. The average person checks Facebook 7 times a day. LinkedIn doesn't work that way. So we had people who said, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I haven't checked my LinkedIn in a while. You sent me a message about a month ago. If you're still open to, I'd love to be interviewed for this book. I'm an airline HR exec, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, sorry, Tayton, I got another one. We overachieved. So he may have to put out a second book to fit them all, or he may say, sorry, you didn't make the book, but I'd love to keep talking to you because you're my perfect client. So if you send messages to LinkedIn and people don't respond instantly, that's why. Some of them don't check it every day. Some of them don't check it every week. Some of them don't check it every month. So it can take a little bit longer to get a reply than it would if you Facebook message somebody. Does that make sense, how that works? Okay, this is a goodwill, what we call a goodwill campaign. So this is 3 steps before you ask for anything. So this is a message of, hey, I came across this article while doing some research for my other companies like you, and I thought of you. Link to an article. Industry publication, trade journal, CNN, news site, whatever it is. It's around this topic, whatever that is, and I thought it had some key insights. Link, hey, would love to get your thoughts when you have a moment. Hope business is going great. Message 2, a couple days later, hey, I saw this and thought of you. Hey, if you like that one, you'll love this one. Message 3. So 3 links to related articles that they might be interested in before you then say, hey, let's talk about X, Y, and Z. So you're building up goodwill, goodwill, goodwill. Hey, I found this for you. Hey, thought you might like this. Hey, this was interesting. Now they know who you are. You keep sending them good stuff. Even if they don't have time to read it, they see that you're doing research, you're being thoughtful, and you're adding value, and you didn't ask for anything yet. So by the time you ask for something on message 4, your response rate of affirmative action will go way, way up.
Do I have the ability to send them a link, a YouTube link?
Yeah, absolutely. You can send them any YouTube, website, anything, any URL.
That's also a strategy we follow with all of our social media posts, because if you're on Facebook, your business is on Facebook, and we've had clients who we've taken over their social media for, and every single post they've had has been, I've got this product.
Buy my stuff.
This consult, make this appointment, buy this, do this, and you're beating people over the head with what you're doing and all of that. They're gonna unfriend you very quickly. Whereas if you do a pattern of information, content,
Education,
yeah,
warm fuzzy.
yeah, exactly. Here's something that's beneficial or engaging content.
Yeah.
And periodically in there, it's here's what we offer. It's much easier to get through to them that way.
Yes. You can't always be selling because then you will turn people off. You have to add value before you get permission to sell, and your sales cycle will shorten and your conversion rate will go way up. This is what we call a neuro trigger campaign because it's based on something you achieved for a similar client, and it sort of melts sales resistance because they get excited about what you did for somebody else. So hello, what would it mean to your top line revenue, or whatever it is, if you saw a 70% increase in contact rates, 50% improvement in closes, and 40% increase in quota hitting sales reps, or other stats that you've got? Bill could probably just take this one exactly as it is, just change the percentages, and he could use it. Let's find a few minutes to talk about how we're providing these results to our clients. I'm available Monday at 2, Tuesday at 4. Can we sync up? So this is all based on a track record of, hey, we already did this for so-and-so. You want to hear how we did it? So, hey, we increased patient flow. We decreased time in the chair. We increased patient satisfaction. We generated X number more referrals or whatever additional revenue. You want to see it? Now, yeah, of course I want to see it. That would be really cool. We found that one of the things in marketing our marketing products and services works really well is a case study. This is what we did for this company in your industry. You want to do it too. You know, we did this for this financial advisor in Buffalo, number 2 on Amazon for retirement planning. He's now got 12, 15 people who are at his party who are now have his book and handing it out to clients. If it can work in Buffalo, it can pretty much work anywhere. You want to see how we did it? Yes. You can use this to drive people to a lead magnet, whether that's a free report or a video series or a white paper or a webinar. This is one that works really well. According to Forrester, you talked about Stride earlier. According to Forrester, 70% of mid-level businesses are overpaying for their X. I thought you might like to hear some best practices to avoid this for your company name. We're holding a 30-minute executive briefing. Notice we didn't call it a webinar anymore. What we're finding is the response rates when it says come attend this webinar have dropped like in the last year because everybody now knows what a webinar is. It's not new anymore, and they've been on a bunch of them. So we've changed it to like executive briefing or some other different title that doesn't have the word webinar in it. Changing one word, 2 words has made a huge difference. We're holding a 30-minute executive briefing on how to blank for blank. Here's what we'll cover, bullets 1, 2, 3. Here's the link.
We don't call consults.
Yeah, consultations aren't consults anymore.
Strategy sessions, they're
Because the consultation sounds like I'm going to get sold. The perception is I'm going to get sold something. So when we were doing work for the other body shop that we had great success for, it wasn't a car repair consult. We didn't use strategy session either because it's a car. But they had originally called it a consultation, and who wants to get a consultation on fixing their car? It doesn't sound... You're still going to do the same thing when they bring it in. You're going to give them an estimate. But we found that worked a whole lot better than calling it something else, where they might perceive that someone was going to sell them something. Because even though that's what we want, and they ultimately want to buy something, they don't want to think that they're getting sold something. Everybody, I think it's... I'm not sure if I'm stealing the quote from you or somebody, but it was everyone loves to buy, everybody hates to get sold. I think you said something like that. I'm paraphrasing you wrong, I'm sure. Close enough. Okay. We'll be adding some time at the end to address questions from the briefing. Hopefully you can make it. Feel free to share this with someone you think can benefit from these insights, which is how you get more than one person off of one message to show up. This is our power connector message. Hey, thanks for connecting with me. I made it a goal of sorts to expand my network and look for ways to put my business colleagues together. I checked out your profile and thought we might have some synergies for referrals. If you have a few minutes to grab a cup of coffee next Tuesday or Thursday, virtual is fine too. Here's a link to my calendar. So this is another value add in advance, kind of like, hey, I think we might have some people I can refer to you. When do you want to talk about it? I'm not asking them to refer to me. I'm going in saying, I've got people I think could benefit from your services. And they, of course, say, well, yeah, who doesn't want more referrals? And then when you give in advance and say, okay, I'll send Bob and Joe and Jane to you and tell them about you, the natural law of influence that we'll be talking next month in our session is reciprocity. Is great, who can I send your way? Yes, BNI without being BNI.
Cost of membership.
Giver's gain, right. So this is a really cool LinkedIn strategy we call reverse prospecting when there is a C-suite or impossible to reach decision maker we want to get. So we run paid LinkedIn ads in front of people who are connected to our client, the person we want. And we say, send this to Bob Smith. So now the example shows up and says, do you know David Allen at ABC? Please show him this ad. That's literally the ad. So then Bob forwards this to David and says, hey, these people showed up in my LinkedIn newsfeed and are trying to reach you. And that's your way in the door. You can run ads by job title. So you can say, I want every company size with this many employees in this industry, and let's say trying to get to the chief technology officer and get referred down, I would run an ad to the CEO of that company saying, do you know David? And he's like, oh, of course, he's my CTO. David, give this guy a call. Now here's the way you make this work and not pay very much. Because one of the fundamental differences between LinkedIn ads and Facebook ads, and we're going to get to Facebook in a few minutes, is LinkedIn is geometrically more expensive to advertise on than Facebook. If there is a link, if I am paying cost per click on Facebook and I'm paying $1 a click, on LinkedIn the same click might be $10. It's a lot more expensive because LinkedIn says we're B2B, we're not business to consumer, we're a professional network, and they can get away with charging a lot more. So the way to avoid paying more is instead of making this a cost per click ad, we make it cost per view because only the people at that company are going to see it. We don't want them to click. We don't want them to click on the ad. We want them to forward it to Bob or David, sorry. We want them to forward it to David. So if we pay cost per 1,000 views, depending on how big the company is, we may not have 1,000 people see it. So we're going to pay pennies on the dollar. Or even if it's a big company and 5,000 people are on LinkedIn and they see the ad, we only paid for 5,000 views. We didn't pay very much. So we're going cost per 1,000 views as opposed to cost per click. Another thing we're doing is in that ad, there's a landing page with a video saying, hey, I'm trying to reach David. David, this is what I want to talk to you about. So that when someone forwards him the ad, he sees a video of me talking to him. Which then two things happen. He says, okay, holy crap. He says, how the heck did you do that? And okay, by the way, let's talk. Does that make sense? Starting to see how you could sneakily use that to get in front of somebody. Cleverly. That's a more positive spin on it. Okay, so I talked a little bit about the way you can use LinkedIn to pay LinkedIn to get them to send an email on your behalf to anybody you want on LinkedIn. So we did this. This is a company called Vidbox. They have the exclusive rights to take Redbox DVD machines and stick them in 7-Elevens and Walmarts in Mexico. So how we used this for them is they were trying to fill a workshop, a presentation about investing in their company. So it was an investment dinner. You got their pitch. You wrote them a check and bought stock in Vidbox. So what you will see is because it's LinkedIn, it's 100% deliverable. And because not too many people are doing it yet, the open rates are really, really high. These are emails that are going to people you do not know and have no connection with whatsoever. But you will see where's Vidbox in mail, test number 3, open rate 35.89%. In mail test 3, subject line change 34.694. So we're finding, the way this works, LinkedIn charges you per email that you send. So 80 cents per email, whatever that rate is, but we're getting really high open rates. So I will show you how to do it. So this is LinkedIn. You are going to go up in the top corner where it says work. That menu drops down and you're going to click advertise because you have to pay LinkedIn because just like Facebook, LinkedIn is not a social network. It's an ad agency. LinkedIn and Facebook do not make any money from LinkedIn and Facebook. They make money by advertising. This is what happens when you get to the LinkedIn.com marketing solutions. If you don't have an account already, you just add one. I have 2. I'm going to go into my account. It's showing me some stats. I'm going to say create campaign. It's on the top right. I have a choice. I can do sponsored content. I can promote my content with those ads that show up in your LinkedIn newsfeed. I can do text ads. Those are the ads that show up on the right side of LinkedIn, that you click on something and it takes you somewhere. Or I can do sponsored in-mail. I want to send targeted message directly to the people who matter most to my business. That's what we want to do. I'm going to create a name for my campaign. And this is the email. I'm going to write a subject line. I'm going to write a text line. I'm going to write the body of my email. I can put whatever links I want. I can personalize it. So LinkedIn, because it's LinkedIn, LinkedIn knows everybody they're sending it to. So I can have it say, hi Seth, hi John, hi Bob. I can use whatever information that LinkedIn has on them and populate it in the email if I want. So I can say, hey Seth, I know that you work at ABC. I know that this company has 5,000 employees and that you should do, I mean, you wouldn't tell them that you know that because then they would freak out. You can add a custom footer if you have compliance disclaimers or whatever that you've got to add. I get a landing page URL where I want to send them. I get a call to action button that I can make say whatever I want, learn more, click here, sign me up. And then if I want, I can use graphics. I can have a banner at the top of my email and I can pick whatever image I want. So we're going to pretend I've got my test campaign created. You can split test as many emails as you want against each other. So what that means is if you create 2, half of your audience will get email 1, half will get email 2. LinkedIn will tell you which one got more opens and which one got more clicks, and you can know, ooh, this one works better, I'll use that one from now on. If you create 10, 1/10 of each group will get 1 email, and you can see which subject line, which link, all of the elements to see which one works better. Then I have to pick where I want it to go. So this is really, really cool. I can pick a specific company. You can pick a specific company. You can pick a specific industry. You can pick a size. You can pick a job title. You could pick what college they went to. You could pick what they studied or what degrees they've got. And you could pick what group they belong to. So if they are in a LinkedIn group, you can send it to them. So again, if there's a group on LinkedIn with what you do, with who you want to reach, with medical professionals, or with accountants, or with lawyers, or with whoever, I can now target them. Then I can install conversion tracking if I want, which means I can track my cost per opt-in or whatever action I want them to take, estimate form filled out, whatever that might be. I then pick my bid, my daily budget, and when I want it to run. And then you will see, you start getting stats. This is a campaign I created. I sent it to 100 people, 49 opened it, 49% open rate. Click-through rate of 8.1%. So you can't really get those, that's cold traffic. If I could get I have a email list of people who have registered on our website for different offers, for books, to attend webinars. So those people know who I am and have signed up to consume our content, and my email open rate isn't anywhere close to 50%. And these are cold people who are opening it because it's coming from LinkedIn.
What about conversion? When they're opening it, how are you doing conversion on it?
It depends. So it depends on the campaign. We are testing what copy works on LinkedIn and what copy doesn't. We are finding we need to send emails that are more like educational, value-driven, like some of the campaigns I showed you earlier, like the waterfall and stuff like that, and the value ads, rather than pure hype. When we send pure promotion, go get this now, it hasn't worked as well on LinkedIn. Because again, it's B2B, they're not on there to find stuff. I guess that at least half the people who are on LinkedIn for their resume. I have one if you want to just.
No, that's his.
I have a steak pizza if you want to just drop it there. So we found a softer, more value add first approach has tended to work better. Does that make sense? Awesome. Additional questions on LinkedIn? Any other LinkedIn questions? Okay.
I don't have questions because you're so far ahead of me. It's not that I don't.
Okay, well, would you like to go backwards?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
No. But I just wanted to explain why it might be silent for this.
Understand, yes.
I'm not too familiar with LinkedIn, but when you email to a group, does everyone in the group get it, or just the group manager?
Everyone in the group gets it. If you wanted to email the group manager, you would just send him a direct LinkedIn message. This is to get an email in front of everybody in the group that you don't otherwise have access to. One of the things to think about is if you're going after, let's say, a large group, you're paying LinkedIn. The way this works is you're paying per email sent. So you need to carefully think about what your daily budget is, because if there's a group that you're sending to that has 100,000 people in it, and you don't set your budget at, let's say, 10 or 20 bucks a day, if you don't give them a limit, they will happily send it to 100,000 people, and you will wind up with some splaining to do when your credit card bill shows up. I've had clients who did that by mistake. So make sure you set your daily budget and say, I'm going to spend 25 bucks, I'm going to run this for a week, so I'm going to spend 120 bucks or whatever.
Can you know ahead of time how many are in the group?
Yes. Yeah, it will tell you exactly how many people are on the list. Okay.
Just
Yeah.
another tip, because I don't really use this, but insurance friend of mine and my insurance mastermind group does this, but he'll pay for this with a prepaid credit card, so he knows if it's
You can't run over. That's a good point.
$500 prepaid credit card, it can't go higher than that.
That is helpful. Yes. So that would be an extra level of safety. The first level of safety is setting your daily budget right and then monitoring it. Don't set it and then don't sign in for 2 months and say, oops, I spent a bunch of money. So to accidentally prevent that, one is sign in and monitor your ads. And then 2 would be if you had a prepaid credit card with specific limit, you know, if I went to Tahiti for a month and forgot to check LinkedIn, the most I could spend would be 500 bucks. So that is an additional seatbelt on top of the airbag. Awesome. Okay. So that wraps up LinkedIn. I'm going to take a 5-minute break and eat some of that delicious looking pizza, and we'll get to Facebook. Okay, so I am not taking credit for this idea. I learned this from a friend of mine, Kim Walsh Phillips. She is also on the Planet Dan Kennedy Direct Response World. She speaks at a lot of the same events I do. I will give you the disclaimer. When I learned it, when I saw it, I said, this isn't going to work. Then I said, this won't work. It doesn't help a local business. We have a lot of clients that are physically in one place. Nationwide makes sense. Global makes sense. I don't see how it's going to work for a local business. I'm going to show you how we figured out how to make it work for a local bricks and mortar physical location business. So stay with me. I'm going to tell you the parts where you're going to think it's crazy and why it ends up working. So this whole process is designed to trick Facebook's ad algorithm. So Facebook, if let's say I own Camp Road Collision and I start running ads in Western New York, Facebook is going to Facebook is an ad agency. They're going to look at the size of the audience I pick, and they're going to determine pricing of what I pay per click or per like based on how big my audience is and how much money they think they can make. So if Facebook sees you've only got 10,000 people in your target market, and you specifying a budget of, let's say, 10, 20 bucks a day, Facebook is going to say it's going to take him a long time to reach those 10,000 people. At the most, we're only going to make a couple grand. He may not stick around long enough to reach those 10,000 people. We need to charge him as much as we can get away with to get the money now, to justify our overvalued stock price. I'm not giving investment advice. So if you are advertising in a local market and you just go straight to that local market, what we found is it gets way more expensive than it should be. We've had local financial advisors in other cities paying $2, $5 a click, or a couple dollars per like, which gets really expensive. So this process tricks Facebook ad algorithm into giving you much cheaper traffic. You have to get some fans first that you're not going to care about and you're never going to sell to, but it works when you go after the people that you want. So that is my disclaimer.
So how many likes do you have to have before you start?
I'm getting there. Oh, before you start this, 0. I'm going to show you taking a Facebook page from 0 to over 10,000 in 3 days. Now, those 10,000 are not going to be the people that Arrow wants. They're not going to be people that any of you here who are local are going to want. But when you hit the 10,000, when you get the 10,000 at a really cheap price, when you then run a campaign aimed at Hamburg or Buffalo, magically, instead of paying like $2, $3, you're now paying like 20, 30 cents. So because you had this traction of getting this large volume at a cheap price because it was global, when you go local and you go hyper-targeted, it's like 90% cheaper than it would be otherwise. So if you can put up with it, you might have some people in random countries that like your page and are never going to do anything, which shouldn't matter because they're never going to do anything, but you now have 10,000 more fans than you did yesterday. It'll work. So I'll show you how it works, and I'll show you the caveat of how to make it work in a local market. Fair enough? Okay. Facebook, day one. All right, so you might recognize her. This is Ella, my daughter, my 8-year-old. So I said, I'm going to test this on Ella. Even though my kids aren't old enough to be, I will not let them as a social media guru, let them be on Facebook. I built a fan page for Ella's acting career. In case you don't know, Ella's an actress. So we created, you can't see all of it, but we created these, those are her headshots. The header, Christian created an awesome image of Ella Ray Green, the next child star, trying to get people to think that that's what she is, so maybe it happens. So I created a fan page for her acting career, and we have the Ella plan written out that she is aware of what's going to give her her big break, because we're not moving to New York City and letting her audition on Broadway, and we're not moving to LA. So I said, how are we ever going to get her in front of Disney from Buffalo? So that is part of the reason behind this, but I will teach you exactly how we got her fans. So we're going to assume that you've got a Facebook fan page. Everybody in here, I believe, has one? Yes, 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 pretty much. If you don't, we can talk about how to build one in like 10 minutes. So the very first thing you're going to do on your Facebook fan page, and this is, again, just for this strategy only. This is not what you would do in normal Facebook ads. This is just for this strategy. You're going to hit the promote button. You're going to hit this promote button. You normally would not do that. You normally would work from Ads Manager. For this strategy to work, you've got to do it this way. I'm going to hit the promote button, and these are my 4 choices. I'm going to pick promote your page. This is to get more fans. Facebook will instantly come up with an ad for me. We do not want to use this ad. They're just going to use my banner and say connect with the name of your page. We're going to change this. We're going to go to edit, add creative. Here is the line you're going to use, and you're going to write this down because I'm giving it to you. Thanks, Kim, for teaching it to me. Click like, with quotes around it, to like our page if you agree. I'm going to show you what they're going to agree to in a second. Click like to like our page if you agree. Then I'm going to upload an image because I'm not using this. I'm going to pick an image that I have saved to my desktop, and I'm going to show you how to make one of those on free software that will take 2 minutes in a second. But the image I used for Ella was a yellow box with a 5-word quote. It is semi-inspirational. In hers is "You were born to sparkle." We've done these for a lot of pages. It's got to be 5 words or less. It's got to be on a yellow background. Yellow seems to be the color that works better than any other color. Ella, being Ella, said, "Daddy, I want it pink." We tested pink. It didn't work as well. It cost more. I have no idea why. I cannot answer for these thousands of people that follow her now. So 5-word inspirational quote. One that we've had that we've worked for 5 different clients was "You were born for more." That's working on investment pages. It's working on religious pages. It's working on e-commerce.
You were born for what?
More. I don't know if I would use that for catering, but something. You deserve better.
My daughter's an animator, I gotta get her a job.
This is how we're getting Ella a job. So, so I upload my image, and I'm going to show you how to create it. My daily budget's going to be $20 a day. No, you can't spend $1. Got to be 20. Because I'm in this promote button and not an ads manager, it's going to put a time limit on it. I'm going to pick 7 days. You're going to change this in Ad Manager in a second. Just follow the steps. I've done it 6 times. It's worked every time. Then I click Promote. It says, OK, we received your order. I'm closing out. Again, I hit. Now, how did I create that image? You were born for more. You were born to sparkle. There is free software called Canva, Canva.com. It is free. Canva.com for creating cool-looking postcards, Facebook posts, Facebook covers, social media, whatever.
Have you tested what, if the picture works better or just words?
Yes, we're getting there.
Okay.
Thank you. Awesome segue. So, for example, I'm going to go create a Facebook post. In Canva, I'm going to go to background. I'm going to pick yellow. Magically, I get a yellow background. I'm going to add text. You want to add a subheading, not a heading. Facebook rules that text can only be 20% of the image. If it is more than 20%, your ad gets banned. Do it too many times, they shut down your account. Ask me how I know. So you add a subheading because it's smaller. You don't want it to be tiny. They have to be able to read it. Subheading. And then I type in these words, whatever my quote is. You were born to sparkle. I go up here and change the name of my image to whatever file name I want. You were born to sparkle. And I hit download and as a PNG file, and Facebook gives me an image, and it gives me an image. And then that's what I uploaded to change the ad. So I hit promote. I did I said click like to like our page if you agree. I created a 5-word quote on Canva, and I made that my image, and I set my budget at $20 a day. With me so far? Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to change my audience so that I go get lots of fans really, really cheaply. So I go in Facebook Ad Manager, where I now have a campaign that says promoting Ella Rae Green, or promoting whoever you are. I'm going to click on that, which will take me to the ad set of promoting Ella Rae Green, and I'm going to click Edit. You can't see it, but there's a little bird that says Edit that you can click on. This pops up where I can edit. Now remember, by default, I had to pick a 7-day ad. I'm changing it to don't schedule end date because it's going to keep going. And I'm going to change the audience. This is how you get the really cheap fans. Because the default audience is going to be the United States, and based on your ad account, it might even be in Clarence, because you've advertised to Clarence a bunch of times. And Facebook would know that, so they might say, oh, he must want people in Clarence. We're not doing Clarence yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to X out of the United States, and we're going to type region worldwide. Now, I don't want the entire world. I'm going to exclude some countries. You can click include or exclude. I'm going to pick exclude, and I'm going to add some countries I don't want to run ads in at the beginning because they're too expensive. Guess what one of them is? North Korea? Guessed. You guessed. I haven't tested North Korea. No. You're going to eliminate the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. Those are the 4 most expensive English-speaking countries to advertise on Facebook in the world. To get Facebook to give us cheap likes, we have to get some cheap likes from other countries where they're really, really, really cheap. So I'm advertising to the entire world except the US, the UK, Canada, and Australia. I hit confirm and close, and I'm done. That is what I do on day 1. Everybody with me so far? Yes. So I've got an image that says you were born for what a 5-word inspirational quote. I am using this for a barbecue sauce company right now. They sell barbecue sauce online, and our quote is 3 words. BBQ, barbecue equals love. So you can do it for food. I'm doing this right now for a, what's the other one? A Cocker Spaniel fan page. I have a woman who sells Cocker Spaniel products. It says Cocker Spaniels equal love. Again, this doesn't have to be Shakespeare. So, day 1, I created that image. I'm running it all over the world except the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, and I'm spending $20 a day. Everybody got that? Okay. Day 2. I'm going to go check how my ad is doing on day 2. You will see in one day, oh, this is Billy. We switched from Ella to Billy. Billy, his page is dealing with digestive issues because he sells digestive enzymes, a supplement that helps people with digestive issues. He had this, promoting dealing with digestive issues. Day 1, he has 3,843 likes. Cost per result, 2 cents per page like. Because they're all over the world. His quote was, you deserve better, because if you're dealing with digestive issues, that sucks. Remember, this is worldwide, and we're not targeting people who specifically have any issues yet. But my barbecue equals love ad, I'm assuming you're not going to like that unless you like barbecue. So I'm going to go, once I get 2,000 fans, you have to wait. So if on day 2 you don't have 2,000 fans yet, don't do anything. Come back on day 3. Once I hit 2,000 fans, I'm going to clone this ad set, which means I hit a little button called underneath that you can't see called duplicate, which copies everything, and I hit place order for another $20 a day. So now I'm spending 40. So day 2, if I've got 2,000 fans, I duplicate my ad set. If I don't have 2,000 fans, I do nothing. Don't know why these are magic numbers, but they are. With me so far. Day 2, if I got 2,000, I duplicate, I double down. Now, once my second ad set gets to another 2,000 fans, the fun begins. I get to start narrowing. So you will see this is Richard Neely, who sells e-commerce products to Christian people. So he has an e-commerce store that sells t-shirts and hats and inspirational Jesus stuff. So you will see ad set 1, 3,933 likes at 1 cent. Ad set 2, 1,143, 2 cents. Once this hits 2,000, we're going to edit it. So once I get 2,000 in the second ad set, I get to pause the first one and edit the second one. I'm going to edit it now and go US. I'm going to get rid of worldwide. I'm going to get rid of excluding all those countries, and I'm going to go US. I'm not going hyper-local yet, but I'm going from the world to the US.
You're editing the first ad?
Second ad.
Second ad.
I duplicated it. I waited till it got to 2,000, and now I can edit it. If it doesn't have 2,000, can't do anything. So I drop it to the US, and I hit confirm and close, and now I'm at day 4. So now you will see I paused the first one that was going all over the world. The second one, now you'll see my cost per like crept up from 2 cents to 4 cents. Because again, I'm going US now, but it's not 50 cents and it's not $1. Now I'm going to go, once I've got 2,000 US fans, that seems to be the magic number, 2,000. 2,000, then I get the second ad set at 2,000, edit it. I get another 2,000, I edit it and refine it more. So now I'm probably at 6,000 fans. Now I can go from just US. You see when I change the ad set, I'm putting the date so I can track. I'm now going US with digestive issues on November 13th. Because otherwise you won't remember when you did stuff, and you won't know how well it's working, and you won't be able to change the dates and see how much it costs for the new people. So I'm labeling. I'm now saying I'm going US, but I want people who are fans of Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, Foundation of America, or gastroenterology in general. Because he wants digestive issue people. So now he's gone from billions of people worldwide to hundreds of million in the US, down to 440,000. Had he gone straight to this market, his cost per fan would have been dollars instead of cents, because we tried it. Because I said, 440,000 is still a big audience. It'd still be cheap. Not according to Facebook. They want your money. So we're going to let that one run, because those are the people he actually wants. And then we can now run ads to his existing fans who are members of those groups and drive them to whatever website we want, and our cost per click will be infinitesimally smaller than it would be had we gone straight to them in the first place. Yes?
So roughly at this point, you're about 6,000 followers in
Correct, and we're gonna let it keep, now that we're targeting the right people that he wants, this is just gonna keep running.
And we're not running ads to the first people, right?
You paused them. As soon as the second ad set got to 2,000, you paused the first one.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the second one gets to 2,000, we're narrowing to US. We get another 2,000, we're narrowing down more focused. His case, he's nationwide, but this could easily be narrowed down to a Buffalo, Western New York market.
Is there any downside exposure to having fans in other countries?
Don't know yet. Downside, I mean, I could think of, we had a client that so I did this for me, and I took Market Domination's Facebook fan page from like 750 people to like 26,000 in a week or two. And then I said, let's test it for a client who's not in the marketing business, because I speak on stages and I've got Kevin Carrington from Shark Tank as my co-host. Maybe some of these people knew who he was. I'm not a fair example. So I called Craig, who's not here today, and I said, want to test something for you. You're going to think it's crazy. Give me $200 or whatever to spend on Facebook ads, and I'm going to blow up your fan page, because he had like 200 people. I said, you up for a crazy, ridiculous test? He said, sure. So the next day he texts me and is like, dude, you 7x'd my fan. I have like 1,500 fans. What the heck is going on? And then each day he's like, holy crap, I hit 10,000. Like, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. Now, sorry, Craig emails us going, these people are all over the world. I don't know if any of them are going to run for office. Why am I doing this? I would have rather, do I need a whole new page now? Do I need to start over? I said, no, we didn't break your page. You're just not going to talk to the 10,000 people from other countries. You're only going to talk to the you're only going to run engagement ads or click ads or video ads at these people that you actually want. So
His concern was that, oh my God, he's the political consultant. If a candidate's on his page and sees that a 14-year-old person in the Philippines liked his page.
14, granted, we put the minimum age as 18. They are not 14.
But if a person in the Philippines liked his page, he's going to say, well, wait a minute, is this page less legitimate? And what happens is, as we grow, get the people first to build up the base, and then now the ones that are coming in were
The right
his
people.
audience, they're Americans, they're political people. So the ones that you got first are being pushed down.
They might end up defriending him anyway.
Right, they may up unfollowing because they liked You Were Born to Sparkle, and then they don't care about Ella's Disney videos. Ella has 6,000 at the moment. And here's the interest. So let me answer a couple of those. So first of all, we don't care about the first 6,000. If we could throw them away, we would. We're doing them to trick Facebook into giving us cheaper traffic. Number two, they are actual people. Now, granted, someone in Thailand doesn't help Errol or Tom, who are local. Ella now thinks it's the coolest thing ever because she's talking to people. Like, they're messaging her, they're commenting on the post that we're putting up every day, and she's like, I'm going to go talk to my fans today. So I've taken pictures. I'm like, it's so cute. And now Max is like, hey, what about me? So I'm working on a world domination Facebook plan. I'm like, you don't want to be an actor, but he does have an app idea that we're trying to build into a real app that I think actually has real potential. So we're going to build, there is a Max Facebook page, which maybe we'll show you next month, that will go up. So the point of the 10,000 is not the first 6 we don't care about. We're doing it to trick Facebook into giving us cheaper traffic because we've established a track record of we're advertising to a lot of these people and it's a really cheap cost because the audience is so big. So that we get a smaller cost when we narrow it down. Now, Craig was saying, what if a candidate sees that somebody from Thailand likes my page? Technically, I don't think you can go to a fan page that you're not an admin of and see the breakdown of the user base. I don't think they can go see what countries your fans are in and what percentages.
Unless you're already friends with their friends.
Right, unless you're friends with the person. So you wouldn't be because they would be a fan of your page, not a friend of your personal account.
And what happens if you shrink and you go below 10,000? Does anything happen?
Don't know. Haven't had that issue.
The fans know who owns the page? Like, do they know that they would see Seth Green?
No, they don't have to. So when you run a Facebook ad, when you run all these ads, the ad is coming from your fan page. So in Bruce's news feed, up shows an ad from Market Domination LLC saying, marketing equals love, or your business deserves better. Click like if you agree. they couldn't see that Bruce was the sponsor of that, that I was the sponsor of that. Because your Facebook ads are coming through a Facebook fan page, not your personal account. So there's no way, unless they went to your My Market Domination LLC page and then saw that I posted as Seth Green instead of the company, that would be the only way they would find me.
You say fan page, is that the same thing as our business page?
Yes.
Okay.
Interchangeable words.
But, and then piggybacking off that, you kind of want them to see who's sending the ad if you're doing it for your business, so.
It's going to come from your, so the ads, here I'll go back, I'll show you. So the ad says, the ad coming from this page, you pick the page it comes from, the page you're promoting. So in this case, they see part of his ad, it's dealing with digestive issues, sponsored, they see his ad and it's sponsored by dealing with digestive issues or sponsored by Market Domination LLC. It doesn't show Seth Green. Because
No, that's good.
It's through your page.
it's through my Market Domination company page. It's a separate entity. John.
So what about, for instance, I already have over 10,000 fans on my Facebook.
Yes, and those are all local, and we did an
So
awesome
then
job with
I
that.
would- To build this over 10,000.
You don't need to do that. The issue is those fans that you acquired weren't done this way. So if we run a new like campaign at a local market, Facebook is going to see that it's a small market and that it's not going to make them very much money. So they may jack up your prices anyway.
So we could
So you could redo.
start over.
You wouldn't start a new page, and you wouldn't need 10,000 of them. But I would test. Let's go run a like campaign locally right now. Not touch anything else and see how it works. And if you get cheap likes, then locally, then we're good. My guess is Facebook is going to see it's a small market. They're not going to make much, so they're going to charge you too much. In which case, then we pause that. Go create one of these. You don't need another 10,000. Maybe we do 2,000 and then narrow down right away. You get 2,000 at a penny, and see if we go local, if it works cheaper.
Well, this would have worked for the October pizza thing we did for October, right? I mean, we could see what day I campaigned in, correct?
Yes, which worked. Remember, because we were texting each other. What was your cost per customer acquisition to buy the Mago Lantern pizza?
Right.
Right.
I remember how much they spent, but I don't know how much that cost was per customer.
Got it. Yes, we would have to sign in to your Facebook ad account. Other questions? Okay. Awesome. All right. Yes.
I have a question. Where'd you get the subcategories from? Where'd you, that list?
So that's in, let's go. So that's in Facebook Ad Manager. That's under detailed targeting. So, you know what? Do you have internet? Are you signed into Wi-Fi here?
I'm not, but, well, check and see, it might be.
You know what? Why don't we actually do some Facebook? Why don't we look in John's account and see what his costs were, and why don't we build an ad and show you how to do it? Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be able to,
Oh.
sky's the limit as far as different categories.
Yes.
You're not creating it yourself. You're just
No, you're going
existing
to
list
open
already?
it up, so you could do.
I don't want Microsoft
Then you
Edge.
start getting subtopics of that, drag racing, NASCAR.
Can you click Chrome?
No, I clicked Chrome. Oh, I clicked Chrome. It's trying to tell me not to use Chrome.
Right, and things like that. So you can.
Oh, am I going to sign in as you? No, I don't want to sign in
No, I
as.
wasn't on there.
Okay, yep, it's telling me to log in. Okay.
You're good.
Oh, look at that. I'm saved.
Yeah, if you just went in and did a very refined search, like he's saying,
Crap. What's my...
you're getting someone to come in.
No, I forgot one letter.
There you go. You're
Okay, so I'm going to walk you through it.
Yeah.
They all.
2 cents.
Hang on a second. Lily's screen.
You're cheating the algorithm.
Sure, you're going through the back door, yeah.
Oh, my wife.
But,
All right, so we're going to do this live. We're going to go look at John's. Are you okay sharing?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go look at John's ads. We'll go create one. What the hell? We'll go create one now, and we'll walk you through examples. John Fortini. There we go. All right. Oh, I got to change the time frame. What was it? Last month, Halloween, right? Yeah. Okay, so what we did for John was we did a post about his Mag-O-Lantern pizza, and giant pizza looks like a jack-o'-lantern, pepperoni and olives doing the face. We took a picture of him holding it. We wrote a post about it. We put it on his page. And then because this is how you turn those fans into money, is we ran an engagement ad to those fans to get them to see it, his post, like, comment, or share. And of course, our ultimate goal was orders. So we ran 2 different campaigns. We did one campaign to his existing fans, those 10,000 local people he's already got. And then we did one to parents of kids who would be young enough to be trick-or-treating in the area who are not his fans already. So you will see we had 800, hang on, I have to get rid of Avast Safe. What the hell is this? Sorry, Chris. If you wanted that, I apologize. Okay. So 812 engagements of his fans, 414 of strangers. Notice they engaged at twice the rate because they already know who he is. They're already a fan of the page. We reached the same number of people. We spent 15 cents versus 13 cents. So his fans cost 2 cents more to get engaged, but twice as many actually responded. Let's go look at the actual ad and the targeting. In his case, the targeting was, for this one, was his actual fans. And then I'll show you how he picked parents. His daily budget was $11. We went to all of his fans, everybody who already liked his page. So this is his tribe, his people who know who he is. And then let's go look at the ad. So the ad, again, coming from Chicken Pizza Works. I'll show you how it looks in the news feed. This is literally how it shows up. So it doesn't say John, it doesn't say Chris, it says Chicken Pizza Works sponsored. So it will say your company name, the name of your fan page, sponsored. Don't cook before you go trick-or-treating. Get our deliciously scary Mag-O-Lantern instead. We are only going to be making 30 Mag-O-Lanterns, so it's first come, first serve. There's scarcity. Available from now until Halloween for $39.99. Buffalo Cheektowaga phone numbers. And that, aw, that's John holding a Mag-O-Lantern.
So John, how many did you sell?
I think.
Didn't we sell it? We sold out.
But I did sell out, and I mean, I was just talking to my wife about this. We sold magnums like crazy that whole week. Not just those, but our regular pizza itself. I would have to say we're at about 40, 50 for the week total with everything.
So you'll notice this ad, 128 of it liked it, 141 comments, and 138 shares of people sharing this cool pizza. And 141 people commented on, like, oh my God, that's so cool. I want one. How do I get one? Sign me up.
If you can do an ad that gets people to share it, I mean, that's cool. They're doing your work for you.
So we sold 40 some plus pizzas. Total spent $172. So $3.50 a pizza. He sells the pizza for $40. He spends $3 to get a customer. That's a good ROI. I'm not a pizza guy, but that's a good ROI in my book. Yeah, beats working for a living.
And you'll have those customers.
And you've got
Right.
Some of them are new customers that are now
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, correct.
Okay, so here's how we targeted parents. And I know it worked because I am in his target market. Except he doesn't deliver to me. Okay, so here's our audience. Buffalo, Cheektowaga, 10-mile radiuses, parents with preschoolers, early school-age children, teenagers, or preteens. Everybody kid under 18. Notice the reach is really small. Potential reach 41,000. He's local. Potential is 41,000. We got to 7,396. We ran 2 different campaigns, so we reached a total 13,799 people.
About 14 cents.
Yeah. 14 cents out. Thank you for doing the math there, Doc. I know they taught that at med school. Yes?
The reason why John didn't penetrate the full 41,000
No, these are inactive because this ran until Halloween. The reason he didn't get all of them was because his budget was too low. We only spent $172. We reached 13,000. Had he been willing to spend 3 times as much, we would have gotten all 41,000. John said, I want to spend $150. I overspent by $22 and said, I'll give you the $22. He's like, no, it's okay. We sold pizza. And
So what was the ROI on this campaign?
it cost $3 and something to get a customer, and the customer spent over 40 or more.
$1 for pizza.
So you're happy with that?
Yeah, I'm not bad with it. Yeah, less than 10%.
I would happily pay 10% of what our clients pay us to acquire them.
Right.
Yes. So maybe we could get a Christmas dinner type of thing.
That's fine.
Because the theme pizzas seem to sell really well. So I know you're doing St. Patty's Day, but maybe we could get you more customers sooner and do something for
What
Christmas.
about like a snowman hat?
Snowman head, that's evergreen.
Now, Hanukkah, let's not.
Hanukkah, we should do a menorah pizza. Dude, you got to do a menorah pizza. Can you make a menorah?
How
I
about
can
some
make
coconut?
anything, I get a cutoff for it. Like,
So then we would narrow the target market to parents, Jewish parents.
We got kosher, we got Hanukkah.
Yes.
This is all.
Thank you for the Jew-friendly comment. We appreciate that.
Seth, Chris was just saying, the results of that, and there's value in the comments too.
Yes, because here, let's go check those out.
Well, they're talking about engaging people.
There's value in all the repeat business he
Right.
gets from the new customers.
Well, when you look at the-
Right, and we can also retarget everybody who saw the ad and get them to come back for the next promotion.
You're doing more than selling a product, you're selling the experience.
Yes, because John, no other pizza place makes these cool, crazy pizzas that John does. Here, let's go. Oh, it's 17 days past. I don't know if we can go see.
There were people talking to each other on Facebook also, like they're engaging with their friends through our
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
page.
It gives you an opportunity to ask questions.
So Seth, can John?
There it is. Oh, we got to unpin it from the page. But you can see 138 shares. Like, here's the example. We will take one. I want one.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
I like hot peppers on it. We can add any toppings you like. See,
We actually
John,
sold that person that pizza.
There you go.
They
So-
called up and said, instead of ours, I want hot peppers.
in 9 minutes, John had responded. That's real time. Instantly, hey, we can do that. And boom, sold the pizza.
Love it.
Regina tagged Tommy and said, Tommy, to go buy it. I love this. Can we get this Halloween night? 6 replies.
And that's an important point, that John, that there was a quick response there.
Yes. If John had ignored them, they might not have called. But super fast customer service, because John on his phone pops up, someone said whatever, and he's on it.
You're notified that you got something and you respond right away. I was on a panel last month with the owner of a restaurant, and he said that he's got 4 people who are getting the notifications when there's something on their Facebook page. And he said, if we don't respond within 10 minutes
Oh,
to
man,
a
they get
comment
so
or something
pissed.
on our Facebook page,
Yeah.
he said, someone's gonna hear from me. And that's important.
Well, the customer themselves, they get upset.
Right.
Like I just had a complaint on Facebook. It's after 6 o'clock, I'm home, I don't even look at the page anymore. 9 o'clock, why haven't you responded, never ordered again? You know, I haven't responded because I'm like 100 and I'm not doing it.
And I have a life outside of this place.
Is there a way you can set
But-
it up for automatic response?
I have
You
no
wouldn't know
idea.
what to respond.
Well,
Yeah, that's-
maybe. So there's 2 ways to address that. One is to have an auto reply to any comment, which is we'll get back to you within 24 hours, but it's generic. The other way to do it is, we talked about Facebook Messenger bots a couple months ago. You could have it set up that if they enter a specific comment, it enrolls them in a Messenger bot and they get a specific response. So anytime someone writes the words, I'm unhappy, you could have it automatically send them a specific, we're so sorry you're unhappy, call us right now, we'll fix it, whatever response. But again, they'd have to enter that right combination of words in the right order.
I mean, it's just as easy to answer.
It's,
than
yeah,
that.
it's easier.
I mean, all I have to texting them back is please give me a call, you know, once I leave my business, I don't pay attention to anything that goes on with Facebook any longer. I'm old and I want to relax.
The other
That's called over disclosure, too much information.
That's great.
The other, that probably worked really well. The other is your, you say you have your night manager monitor the page too, have it over the store.
Delegated.
And say, please keep an eye on it, if something pops up.
Then I gotta let them do things and I don't want that. I definitely don't want anyone to have any access.
John is willing to lose a pizza or two for peace of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want them, it's not that I don't want them to answer
20%
people, I
off.
just don't want them.
To screw it up. Or break the
I don't
page,
want
do
them-
something
once
else.
I say, hey, you can go on Facebook, they're on their Facebook, they say, hey, let's go talk to my friends, let's do this, let's do that, let's gamble, let's do whatever, you know what I mean?
The virtue of having teenagers work for you.
I mean, it's, you know, it's just like if they go out to smoke a cigarette, yeah, can you, yeah, hang out and smoke, sure, go out and smoke. 15 smokes later, they're back at work, it's like, what the hell, man, you've been out there all day, you know?
We don't get smoke breaks at work.
You're not allowed to. Oh, I can't legally say that. You're right, you don't.
Tobacco free.
Yes, we are a tobacco-free zone. All right, so let's go create some. Let's make something. Let's play with targeting. So here, I'll go back to me, so we don't accidentally create something that's never going to run in John's account. So Ella's global domination plan is, Ella, I don't know if you know, has written a book. She wrote a children's book called The Fastest Raindrop that we published, has illustrations, it's a real book. She went and read it yesterday at school to her class. I wrote a Disney fan fiction book, which was inspired by our trip to something that happened at our trip to Disney. It's my first novel, it's like short, 60, 70 pages. So where Ella is gonna come do a video shoot, she needs a sizzle reel for her book. She needs a funnel for her book. And then we're going to run ads to selling her book. And then the upsell will be a copy of my book too. You can get a bundle. And then we're going to run ads and run that video in front of, because you can target employees of a specific company. And I'm going to show you some cool ad stuff. We're going to run ads to NBC, ABC, Universal, Disney. We're going to see if we can get someone there to notice her. We're going to run ads in front of Ellen and see if we can, because Oprah's not doing Oprah anymore, and see if they see it and go, oh my God, this girl's cute and she wrote a book, we got to get her on the show and get her
She's
her.
not gonna be a high maintenance client, is she?
Ella will not be. I can't talk about someone else in her family.
Management.
Right, her momager? I don't know.
Sorry, we're
Well, there's the next business spinoff, is agent.
Right. Okay, so,
I mean, so you started managing money, and then you went to marketing.
right.
And from marketing, you went to publishing, and from publishing, you went to Facebook and social media, and, you know, not
In that order, right.
Yeah.
And then you got another
The
big
next
market.
Market domination for parents.
Well, it'd be for actors.
But we got it in the parents.
Child actors.
Write it down. All right, so we're going to go create an ad. And we're going to play with some targeting. Okay, so these are my choices. Let's pretend we're doing this for you. We'll do it for Errol.
Okay.
You're going to be trickier, so he's not a fair example because it's a collision shop. But we do have some experience in this department. All right.
Might even have an audience.
We might even have an audience. Don't tell him that. He's going to want to cost less because we already did it. All right. We would have told you anyway. Okay, so let's pretend I want traffic. I want clicks to my website. I'm going to say, we're going to call it, because this is in my account, we're not really doing it. We're going to call it Camp Road Test. And my campaign goal is link clicks, because I don't want to pay for views. I want actual action. Am I sending them to my website, my mobile app, or Facebook Messenger bot? I'm sending them to a website, because I'm guessing you don't have a Facebook Messenger bot yet. We're going to pretend. Audience. Okay, so let's see. How close do we want to be? Camp Road Hamburg?
Yep.
Camp Road, Hamburg, United States. I'm going ridiculously small targeted, by the way. I would normally go broader than this, but I'm just showing what you can do, because this is relatively new. I'm going to say I want 10 miles around Camp Road. So again, my reach has already dropped to 230,000 people. I'm going to narrow it down some more because they got to have a car. They got to be old enough to drive. All right, technically you can be old.
Any age.
18 to 65.
You got 18 to 65 plus.
I understand that, but I'm thinking for a second, because not to be stereotypical or discriminatory in any way, shape, or form, but older people tend to get in more there's the young people car accidents and the old people car accidents, right? I am thinking more of the old people car accidents right now, simply because I have an adopted older client who's 70 and has dementia and just broke his hip and still thinks, when am I going to drive? It's still asking me every day, probably because of the dementia, when can I drive my car? Or you can get my car fixed, when can I drive? Like, dude, you can't walk. You're not going to drive.
So this would be another thing to actually be able to tune up when a storm is coming.
Yes.
If you're gonna really tune this.
Get your car ready for winter. Dude, I think we ran that
We
for.
had a great campaign after a storm, a great campaign.
Yeah.
There was storm damage on your car.
Yep.
Or whatever it was, it got huge clicks.
Yeah.
Cheap too.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll pretend we're going to go older. I'm not going to go too, I'm just making this up. I'm going to go 50. If it would scroll. I'm not used to driving your computer.
Oh, you're going younger.
I didn't mean to. Thanks. I couldn't
You're
see.
there.
You know I can see, right?
I know.
You're helpful. I appreciate that. All right, what? I got to turn my, hang on. All right, so notice I went from 200,000 down to 70,000, 50 to 65. Now, Facebook will let me do some really cool stuff. You can tell that this is our account because of the targets that show up by default. Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk.
You don't want Russell Brunson.
No. All right, so let's go. Nope, not demographics. Interests, no, where is it? Behaviors, I bet you. Automotive. So I'm going to show you how fun targeted you can get. I can say I want people who are in the market for a specific car. So if you were a car dealer and you worked at Western Nissan, who are not here today, and if you specifically wanted to sell more Nissans, you could find people who are already in the market for a Nissan and just tell them why they should come to you.
How would you know that somebody was already in the market for a Nissan?
Based on recent activity of Facebook pages they liked or websites they went to. So Facebook cookies you and knows everywhere you go after you go to Facebook.
Which is why you always see ads for things you just happen to look at.
So that's called retargeting.
It's so creepy. I mean, I think it's effective, but it's really creepy.
So
Targeting. It's not stalking.
that's a separate product that we offer.
That's
Just reminding you.
Something for my road.
Yes. So we know they're in the market because what you're going to see, we know when they bought their car, we know how long they've had it, and if they're now all of a sudden on a whole bunch of car websites, why else would they be there when there's 2 months left on their lease, etc. That's how. Okay, so let's say we're just going for owners. Let's see. I want to pick. I mean, you don't have to. You wouldn't necessarily do this for every campaign, but I can go down to I want them driving a BMW S3 that's 3 years old and blah 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 blah. I'm just showing you what you can do.
What's the car the easiest to repair?
Oh, that's a good point.
Easiest to repair?
It's not necessarily the easiest,
Yeah,
but maybe the most.
Wait, doesn't he want the most profitable one?
Yeah, obviously the
How about
Foreigners are more profitable.
How about the one that gets the most accidents?
Ooh, do we have data on that, insurance people?
There's two things. I mean, I understand most accents, that might also be the one that's a tin box, and when you're working on it, they're a pain in the ass to work on. There might be some that are more.
As we say, as Bruce has coined the phrase in our office, we want easy, low-maintenance clients who are very profitable. That's why you're all in the room and not some other people. So you could figure that out. But the point is, that's all available here.
Are there insurance agents in there, insurance companies?
Sure.
To pick from?
Sure. So for example, I can't see that you have insurance with Geico, but I could see that you're a fan of Geico's fan page. Why else would you be a fan if you didn't have their coverage? And maybe you really like their annoying commercials. But I could also see, right, I wouldn't pick the Geico Gecko fan page because we want the actual insurance company. And we don't want people who work there, the 40,000 employees, although maybe we do.
Well, they drive.
No, not for that, but because you want referrals from their business. You want Geico when they answer the phone to say, oh, you're in Hamburg, you should go see Camp Road. So that would be a separate campaign where you target your referral sources and say, hey, send them our way. But anyway, I hypothetically go, I want Geico. Now, magically, all those popped up and disappeared. But State Farm.
So look how many people you ended up with.
Right, my audience has dropped to 2,800 for these two.
If you,
Yes.
say with that, if you start typing, I think insurance, it may start actually pulling up more of those, potentially, or car insurance.
Vehicle insurance.
Real close.
It'll start.
Right, but this is just people who are interested. Let's try it. What the heck?
So if you did vehicles.
Yeah, that bumped me up another 4,000 people. So you would keep, if you wanted to target people who had, presumably were fans of these pages, insurance pages, you would keep adding a big list until you got however many you wanted.
And Earl, you want the insurance companies that pay the best, right?
I was wondering, can you get, are there insurance companies have pages, Facebook pages?
Yeah. That's how they advertise, one of the ways other than the Gecko commercial that they advertise.
And those can be targeted.
Yeah, we just did.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only
So
thing
you
is-
could do a
Wait, I love the interaction. We got to do one at a time. Bruce and then Jake.
I was just saying, you could do a campaign specifically for Allstate people.
Right.
Yes.
It is very narrow focus. but
So
you
there's
could
two
do it.
different things we're looking at. We're looking at consumers who are fans of the page, which is for customers, and then you would do a completely different campaign aimed at the employees of these companies who you want to send you business. Because you would not run the ad of "We'll fix your car" is not what the guy at Geico needs to see. You would send him a separate ad going, "Attention Geico, whatever people, hey, do you know that we do one of your certified whatever endorsed people?" That would be more of a awareness campaign to get them to call, to get them to use you, as opposed to the consumer who we want to say, fill out a form and say, "Yes, I want to bring my car in for an estimate Tuesday at 2 p.m."
Might be your LinkedIn promotion too.
Right. The LinkedIn would work better going after the employees, because then there'll be more of their employees will be listed on LinkedIn as working there, as opposed to on Facebook. And that could be the whole value add campaign. Here's a blog post we wrote. Here's a link. Here's an article we thought you might like. Hey, did you know we're local and we're blah, 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 blah. Heck, you could even say, let's get together for coffee if you wanted to. All right, so I picked 50 to 65-year-old of those couple insurance things. You can run ads right in the Messenger now. I'd pick, whatever my daily budget is. The rest of this stuff I'm going to leave alone. And now I got to go make an ad. Yep, that's the last ad I ran was for Jeff. We're not actually going to run this, but just God forbid, in case it accidentally ran, I'll have it run through an Acme page so that no one gets mad. So then I have a choice. I can do a single image to go with my text once I create it. I can do a video. I can do a slideshow, which is 10 images in a row. I can do a carousel ad where the images rotate and tell a story. Or I can do a collection that opens into a full screen mobile experience. You're going to do single image, single video, most likely. Unless you wanted to do some really creative stuff where you told a story of, here's a before and after picture of the car. Like, here's Jane when she crashed her car. Here's the car on day 2, day 4. Almost like stop motion photography showing in the movie the fast forwarding of the repair type of thing. Yes.
Imagine there's different budget click prices depending on which one of those you choose.
Yes, and you can specify whatever you want to spend. So if you want to spend $10 a day, that's fine. You want to spend 20, that's fine. We have clients who spend thousands a day because it's profitable. It just depends on what you're trying to do. And the size of the marketplace. If you're national, it's a whole lot easier to spend thousands of dollars a day than if you're local, because your market might be too small. Let's see. Then I have a choice of what do I want to use for my images. So if I've got images already, they'll be in my library that I used for previous ads. So you asked a question about, have you tested text versus text and image? So you'll see we're testing. We've got 3 of them so far. It's funny, this is an ad with the thing holding up a lot of money. Is an ad that we're that again, I've narrowed our focus from our 10,000 random people to business owners. And we ran a sketch animation doodle explainer video, like the kind we built for you, advertising a specific service to those business owners. And we got X level of response. And that level of response was something that it was costing like $100 a lead, which I wouldn't mind paying, but the number of leads the volume was really, really small. And we kept changing the targeting and trying to get that to work. And I was really, really frustrated. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take a wild, crazy flyer here and try a really cheesy image. Instead of our professional sketch animation video that Laura did, in this particular case, 9 times out of 10, her videos will beat my images all day long. I tried a hand holding a wad of $100 bills in a yellow background, and it won. And we got like 4 leads in 2 days, and they were like $8 a lead instead of 100. Now, if I'm a business owner, I'm actually in my own target market, I would more click on the video than I would that, but I'm wrong. Because we're getting way more leads at a fraction of the price using a cheesy image.
And what are you selling them?
That's selling them in a net. You are an NRC website member. That is selling them a consultation about saving them money in their business. And the video is very well done and explains it all, but for what they're clicking and going to a website where they watch it, but for whatever reason, that cheesy image is working better. If I don't have any images, I can use Canva to create them, the free software we talked about, or Facebook owns Shutterstock, which is a very large photo library. So I can go into stock images and type in a keyword and get tons of free photos I can use. So for example, if I picked, let's see, car accident, let's see what they've got. Look at that.
Look at that.
It's like they've already thought about it. So I could then pick up to 6 images and have them automatically split test in my ads and see which one works the best. Vendor bender. So here, I'll pick a couple right now.
Where did you get those from? Right out of Facebook?
Yes. You see the watermark says Shutterstock. It's because Facebook bought every single Shutterstock image that exists and allows you to use them for ads. Now, there's 2 problems with that. They don't screen any of the images that they bought. They just gave Shutterstock however many billions of dollars and took them all. So there are images that will pop up from Facebook you can use that will get your ad shut down. So one category of ads is ads that have too much text. We talked about how your text has to be small, has to be 20% of the ads. So for example, if I go type in retirement, that image of the word retire, they're going to be images with text in them, and the text might be too big. So we try and either avoid the ones with text that come pre-populated, or we make sure like that one is really small, so we won't get in trouble. The other problem is Shutterstock had images that are in Facebook's eyes too revealing and show too much skin, which they will also shut you down for. So I would not suggest, so let's say we found that in some B2B markets, when advertising to men is opposed to a professional image of the product or the service, images of attractive women not wearing very much worked really well. Don't know why that is.
What a surprise.
However, the problem is you can't be wearing too small a bikini because Facebook will ban you even though they are supplying the images. So I wouldn't use her. I would not use her. I wouldn't use her.
Just because the images show up doesn't mean that Facebook.
Yes,
them,
Facebook
right?
bought every image Shutterstock has. They did not censor them or screen them in any way. So you could say, it was in Facebook, what's the problem? Well, there's no screens on them, so you use them at your own risk, is what Facebook will tell you. So when we've been doing marketing for resorts, or if we're doing marketing for a skincare product or a weight loss product, weight loss is one of the hardest niches to run ads in, because Facebook doesn't want you to do before and after because all the before and after pictures you'll see are women in swimsuits, because now they lost a bunch of weight and they have and they can wear, see, shorter pants, smaller pants. Oh, look, I'm in a hot bikini now. You couldn't get away with any of those.
They will call it a, quote, unrealistic body image. We've had that happen.
We've had it when we were promoting skincare cream, and it was an image of the face, just her face. And it said, sorry, you're referencing someone's skin condition or ethnicity or medical issue. So if you're doing ads for Buffalo Cryo, you can't say you will not have a heart attack.
We had an ad that was not approved.
Yes, it is worse than FINRA.
Talk about compliance.
Yes. But the issue is, if you have a broker-dealer as a financial advisor, you can talk to your compliance officer, and they will tell you, no, you can't do this. We won't defend you if you get sued. Yes, that one's okay. Facebook, you cannot talk to. Unless you spend a lot of money, like we do, and you have a dedicated Facebook ad rep, Deanna, in our case, who I can call and say, can I run this? Or this ad got shut down. Can you tell me what I did wrong or turn it back on? But you got to spend a lot of money a month to get someone to take your call at Facebook.
And in the meantime, you're taking
Guessing.
We had an ad that was a cartoon image of Buffalo with the.
With a tape measure around it.
Tape measure around it, and they said that's an unrealistic body image.
Of the buffalo, because it was for weight loss buffalo.
Yeah, and you go from.
The buffalo was not naked, he had fur.
Fully clothed. But what Seth is saying is a very important point in that you go from your ad was not approved to your account being shut down. They're better at it now.
Yes,
They're much
they
better
used
at it
to,
now.
there was
They used to-
in the beginning, you got like 3 strikes and they would tell you, hey, you're running ads that aren't working. Then they went through a period a couple of years ago where you made one mistake, your account was just shut down, no warning, sorry, we don't want your money anymore. We had a client who was spending $1 million a month on Facebook ads, who they shut down with no warning and said, sorry, we don't want your business. And we got on the phone, the guy's like, seriously? I'm spending $12 million with you and you're just shutting me down for, that's it? Yep, sorry.
That's crazy.
And I promptly sold my Facebook stock at that point. I said, if you're turning away money, and it was really not a big deal, it was really dumb. He was in the get rich quick in real estate space, which is another really hard one to advertise, because if you can't say you're going to get rich, look at this testimonial of someone who made $1 million, even if you say results not typical, it doesn't matter. So, weight loss, skincare, plastic surgery, get rich quick, all really hard to make compliant.
All of them we've done.
Ask us how we know.
So now today, they'll just tell you your ad is.
Your ad has been normally, we haven't gotten them to give us an answer of how many it takes before you're shut down, but we haven't been shut down in a long time. That was such a pain.
I had one where we were running an ad, and because we clicked 16-year-old, because
Yep.
at Buffalo Crowd you have to be 12 or older, so we were like, okay, and not knowing.
Can't target minors.
You can, but
It's
your
iffy.
verbiage, so they do make some very minor suggestions, like you can't sell dieting ads to someone under 18. You know, so they do give a little bit of feedback. but-
And my thought that I would toss out at you, because we'll be creating retargeting ads for you, is in your ads on Facebook, I wouldn't mention the weight loss aspect.
No,
I would say once they got to your website, you could tell them all you want. But when they're in the Facebook ad itself, I would not mention, as sexy as it is, and how you could hypothetically have women lined up.
Mhm.
I wouldn't mention it because you risk too much of them saying, you're promoting weight loss, bye-bye.
We don't, yeah.
Yes.
We don't do it that way.
Good.
So.
Awesome.
John, don't worry about the weight loss pizzas. I don't think
Yeah.
it's gonna work.
We could do that could be the shape of a pizza.
Controversial.
They might not let you put it on there.
Yes, you might get unrealistic body image for a pizza.
Cheese.
You could probably make a tape measure out of cheese and make markers.
So sorry, continue. Sorry, we got distracted. Car accident. Let's go grab one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go pick a few. Facebook also will tell you if your image is too disturbing or alarming. We had an ad for a skincare company, and this is like cellular level repair of your skin's DNA or whatever the heck it was. So they had little images under a microscope of the cells changing. And that ad got banned because it was like grotesque according to Facebook, because it could disturb people seeing their cells. I don't know why. That's just what we got.
Because it disturbed the Facebook editor.
Well, the Facebook editor is an automated algorithm. You have to, if you get something banned, you can apply for a manual review and say, I appeal this, I think your decision is wrong, and then a physical person will look at it. But by default, these are all going through their algorithm telling you if you can do it, if you can't, if they've caught anything you shouldn't be doing, and what your pricing should be, which is why we do the Get the 10,000 Fans really cheap, so that the algorithm says for other things, we should keep giving you cheaper stuff. It's not because we want 10,000 fans around the world who are never going to buy from us. So there's I picked 3 images. The link will be to my website. All right, so an example headline might be Fender Bender? Fender Bender? Now it's a guitar ad. Fender? Nobody knows what a Fender guitar is. Okay. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up here. This is not going to be the world's best copy. Get your free estimate and get back on the road fast. Call to action, learn more. Oh, look, you can now do multiple languages. I did not. That's new. So you have to constantly keep signing in and checking stuff out because they keep adding new stuff. I was in Facebook this morning creating ads, and that was not there. It's funny because I just had Vidbox, Redbox DVDs in Mexico, who we did that LinkedIn campaign for to fill a workshop, is looking at putting stalker tags on all their machines. So that now you go to 7-Eleven in Mexico, and before you walk in and you walk by the Vidbox machine, your phone gets pinged, get a movie tonight. And one of their questions was, they said, can the stalker tag pop-up message be in Spanish? And I said, I don't know. Never had that question before. So I emailed our manufacturer and said, can we make these in Spanish? And if not, we could type Donde está movie or whatever. I don't speak Spanish, but it might not necessarily, if they're Spanish characters, I don't even know. I should ask Max, he's taking Spanish. I wouldn't. So now that's cool. I can now say, well, at least you can do your Facebook ads in Spanish. Get your free estimate and get back on the road fast. Fender bender, and then I've got room to write more. Might be Hamburgs, most. Hey, let's say we had a lead generation magnet. Let's say I'm going to make something up. Avoid car repair ripoffs. Get your free book on 7 biggest mistakes, 7 biggest ways car body shops take advantage of you. Whatever, something like that. I'm just making stuff up here. These are not actual ads that we ran. And I spelled it wrong. So I wasn't actually going to run it because it's from Acne Cleanse Extra, skincare company. But you get the idea, stuff you can do. Now, because you can target, again, I'm going to do something, this is going to be sexist and stereotypical, but I would run separate ads at women. And I would have I would pick pictures that had women in them. And I would do something about, honest car repair, or, you're safe bringing your car here. You could even go further and run ads to single women and say, you don't need a husband to come take you in for your car repair. We treat you right type of thing. Because I remember, before we got married, Rebecca has told me stories before every car before we got engaged, her dad went with her. Even though she was an adult and had a master's degree and working as a social worker and could have afforded it herself. He didn't sign anything. He just went there to be the guy. So if you ran ads, and she hates taking her car in. Even though we know the person at the car dealer, and even though the manager of the dealership is a friend and client of ours, he doesn't work in the repair part. She still would rather, can you go with me? Can you drop it off? Can you do it? I would run separate ads at women, and I would run separate ads at single women, if it were me, and I was having some.
From experience, don't go alone.
There's your headline right there. Don't go alone. You don't have to go alone. We'll be your guy for you. Something like that.
When Robin bought her last car, I went with her. I was the we'll get a better deal guy.
Now, I've never split tested that. Send Robin in by herself, see what deal she gets, come back with Bruce the Hammer, and see if he can knock that price down, because he's a tough negotiator. Okay, go for it.
You easily could.
You could, right. If someone really wanted the wonderful experience of buying a car 2 times, you could test it.
Yeah, but yeah, you take a whole different, if it's women, you take them, this is sexist, but it's a more comforting approach because it's not their area
Of expertise.
of expertise.
Hell, it's not mine either.
It's not
Or
sexist,
they have
it's targeted marketing.
Right.
Or they had a bad experience.
Right, and even better, you have any women who work for you? Put them in the ad.
Yeah, there you go.
By women for women, like FUBU. Do something. Buy women for women, and I guarantee you could get a large number of female car owners bringing their stuff to you because you had women in the ads. Okay? Well, if you don't have any other questions, we will see you next month. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.